I remember standing at the edge of the Talas River, the sound of water faint beneath the wind that sweeps across the plains of modern Kyrgyzstan. It's hard to imagine that over 1,000 years ago, this quiet valley was filled with the roar of two worlds colliding. The year was 751 AD, an age when the Silk Road wasn't just a trade route, but a battlefield for power, faith, and knowledge. On one side marched the Tang Empire of China, at the height of its strength, led by the ambitious General Gao Xinji, a man seasoned by victories across Central Asia. On the other side, the Abbasid Caliphate, newly ascended after overthrowing the Umayyads, determined to defend its western frontier and assert control over the Silk Road. Between them stood the Karluk tribes, mercenaries who shifted loyalties with the desert winds. What happened here was not simply another border skirmish. It was a crossroads of history, a moment where empires met and destinies turned. When the armies gathered near the Talas River, tension hung like a storm before lightning. Gao Xianji's Tang forces, disciplined and battle-hardened, faced a mixed army of Arabs, Persians, and Turkic warriors under the Abbasid general Ziyad ibn Saleh. The first clashes were brutal and swift. Clouds of arrows, the thunder of cavalry, the clash of steel echoing across the barren plain. For days they fought under the punishing Central Asian sun, each side refusing to yield. The Tang soldiers, though far from home, fought with precision and pride. But history often turns on betrayal. In the thick of battle, the Karluks, once Gao's allies, turned against him. They struck the Tang army from behind, breaking its lines and cutting off escape. The field became chaos. Gao barely escaped with a handful of men, while thousands of Tang soldiers were captured or slain. The Abbasids stood victorious, though even they knew that this victory would change far more than borders. Among the prisoners taken by the Abbasids were skilled Chinese craftsmen, papermakers from the city of Samarkand. Before this moment, paper was a closely guarded Chinese secret, an invention known only to imperial workshops and Buddhist monasteries. But now, through conquest and coincidence, its secret was carried westward. From these captured artisans, the Abbasids learned the delicate craft of pulping plant fibers, pressing and drying them into sheets smoother and cheaper than parchment. What they gained that day was not gold or land, but the seed of knowledge that would one day transform the world. Within decades, paper mills appeared in Baghdad, a city rising as the heart of the Islamic Golden Age. The caliphs invested in knowledge as eagerly as others once invested in war. They built vast libraries like the Bait al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom, where scholars translated Greek, Persian, and Indian texts into Arabic. With paper now abundant, learning became portable. Ideas began to move faster than armies. Astronomers mapped the heavens, doctors wrote medical treatises, mathematicians refined algebra, and philosophers debated the nature of reality itself, all on sheets of paper born from that fateful battle beside the Talas River. Meanwhile, China turned inward. The Tang Empire, shaken by internal revolts and distant losses, began to withdraw from its western territories. The dream of a Chinese empire stretching to the Caspian Sea faded into myth. The Silk Road itself shifted, no longer a highway of soldiers, but a bridge of ideas linking east and west. The knowledge of papermaking spread from Baghdad to Damascus, from Cairo to Cordoba, then into Sicily and Venice. Centuries later, European monks would press their own sheets in dimly lit scriptoria, and printers like Gutenberg would revolutionize communication itself. All because, one forgotten clash between two empires who never realized what they had unleashed. When I think of the Battle of Talas, I don't see it as a tale of winners or losers. It was something quieter, a moment when human curiosity triumphed over violence. The Tang soldiers carried their honor back east. The Abbasids carried wisdom westward. Both left their mark. The paper that emerged from that battlefield became the silent foundation of revolutions yet to come. The Reformation, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, all born from ink on paper that once came from reeds along the Chinese rivers. If you walk by the Talas River today, there are no monuments, no ruins, no relics of empire, just the sound of wind over empty plains. Yet the world we live in still carries the echo of that battle in every page we turn, every book we write, every idea that survives across centuries. It was not an empire that conquered the world that day, it was the written word. And in the ashes of war, the greatest victory was knowledge itself. Subscribe to Teduent for more forgotten history.